Bam! We're live, man. What's going on, my friend?
Nice going on.
Uh, Yeah, so back again, the First Division podcast coming at you with another episode, and always a pleasure to talk to my main man, Jorge. What's up, man? What's going on?
It's just been crazy stuck home with this COVID restriction, but making it through as we go. New things, printing some rules and reading. So that's what's going on, man.
Yeah, it's a strange time at the moment with these COVID restrictions everywhere, restricting travel, making people stay at home orders. Uh,
Yeah,
what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is happening to people's like psychology during this episode with
yeah.
people's mental health? I mean, we've all this COVID situation has been going on for a year and a half already, almost.
Almost, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
I'm
think it's just gonna get us pretty much. Everybody's gonna go nutcase because we're talking about the health as far as whatever, don't get sick or something, but the mental issues, it's going to catch on us pretty soon. And
yeah, I haven't seen any real articles about anything related to any mental health issues during this time. It's kind of being swept under the rug. Mostly it's about people being in the hospitals, people with symptoms of COVID, but
I
the
think
issue with
something's popping up now that they're talking about the mental health because, I mean, these restrictions are kind of which doing that. I mean, like people, we can go to Ocares, we can go to shopping, but if you want to exercise, you can only stay in your own village or city boundary, which is some places only like half kilometer.
right.
So people cannot go to forest because it's already different county or whatever. And I think it's just taking a toll on everybody.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty soon. Everybody's gonna be either stir crazy or there could be a lot of violence happening pretty soon. Maybe I'm not sure. People could get kind of violent because they're so
Yeah,
wrapped up in, and it almost turns us into Shark Tanks.
yeah. Somebody just got beat up in the subway because some old man told some guy to put up the Roshka. So
Yeah,
he just dropped the poor guy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, and did
So
you see that video clip about in the subway there was a 14-year-old boy that got really drunk and almost got smashed by a metro?
no, I am not.
Yeah, I mean there was a video of it, and yeah, the kid was 14 and he had 3% BMI or something like that, blood in his
Nice.
alcohol
Yeah,
in his blood. Yeah,
he was
he almost
smashed
died.
like a like a MF.
Yeah, dude, he almost killed himself drinking, and he
Yeah.
almost got smashed by a subway.
Oh boy.
I think that's what you're going to see a lot.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
people are going to become alcoholic or abuse alcohol now more
Right.
than ever
Sure.
before. I,
Yeah.
there was uh in the square in our city there was already, because all the pubs are closed, there was already people drinking outside and drunk in the morning
Right. Jeez.
outside of the pubs. They were just sitting outside the pubs and already drunk. So,
Right.
I think you're going to get a lot of substance abuse. I think
Sure.
people are going to get aggressive towards one another.
And look at what they're doing to kids. And we try to promote some healthy time to go outside and exercise. And now they end now extra kids who are being outside. Now they learn more about a computer. So everybody's gonna be on the stupid computer and the phone, and you're never gonna get them outside ever.
I think it's going to create a situation where people are going to get. They're always they're, before the COVID hit. They were always saying that you have to have a balance between being on the computer and being outside.
Right.
And now, when you're stuck inside all the time on the computer, you get so used to it being on the computer that you don't even think about going outside anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. There's a lot of other health issues that don't get talked about in some of these press conferences. Is, for example, what about the obesity rate or sedentary lifestyles? I mean, people gotta get. I mean, there's got to be people with diabetes.
And people are gonna go to store and buy the right healthy stuff. They just buy noodles and get out of there. They're not gonna cook properly. They're not gonna eat properly. They're not gonna drink properly. Exercise, forget about it. So, yeah.
Or I wonder if
it's all gonna catch on us later.
Yeah, I think this is going to create more problems than we're actually solving health-wise. I mean, why would you spend all your money cooking when you can easily just go to McDonald's and pick up a full meal for, cheap enough amount of money and do that every day? You're going to get used to that because you're on the computer, for 8 hours a day. If you have home office or if you're at school, you're learning, right? You have lesson after lesson. Where's the time for you to go and cook properly? So you just grab a slice of pizza or a hamburger and sit in front of your computer and eat food. I think that's very unhealthy.
Yeah, it creates all kinds of problems later on, which now we don't think about it, but it's gonna catch up with us.
Yeah,
take us down.
I think the restrictions don't solve the problem of COVID. It solves the problem of social distancing, but it doesn't create any creativity amongst people either. You lose creativity because there was an article about this, a photographer. And a musician, and he went, and how he got his inspiration for his songs was being amongst people. He was traveling around and getting to know people, and from his experiences he was able to create and write songs. But now, because he has to stay at home and he sees the same things over and over again in his apartment, he's not able to be as creative, and he hasn't created songs for like 6 months.
Sure.
Because he's losing his creativity as an artist. He's,
of course,
I think a lot.
You have to go out between the people. You have to go out between the creatures and the birds, animals. All that's missing. But problem is that there is people and we don't know if they're sick or not. But so it's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, we also don't know if they're sick or not, but we also don't know where these people are, right? The statistics of the people who are sick with symptoms of COVID, we don't know where they are within the country. And we don't know how they just give a blanket number for the whole country, and they don't really they can't because of personal data, I guess. But I think they can't. If you disperse that number across the country, that number is very small.
Right.
16,000 people. It's not a lot of people.
Right.
And I was having this conversation the other day that those numbers are usually a day old from the day before or 2 days because the test results don't come in.
Right, but it's like, what does that mean that now the whole factory got tested and there is 5,000 people, so the number of test people got 5,000 people up? Of course, they have somebody there. So if we test more people, naturally, we're going to find out that number increasing. We find more sick people. I get it. But what does that really mean to all of us? That someday we test more, and last summer we didn't test because the tests were not available. Now we have more tests, so we're testing like crazy, and we're still finding sick people. So, like you said, it doesn't create any solution. It just creates adding up to the same problem. Like, we know this virus is here and people getting sick. Well, wow. That's what took us the whole year to figure it out.
Well, the test results show that you are sick with it, right?
Right.
But that's all the statistics says. It doesn't say, it doesn't tell you where or how your body reacts to it. It doesn't show you much. It just shows
Right.
that you are infected with this disease.
Right. And they show how many people are in the hospital, but that same thing, the number is what? 5,000 people in hospital. I mean, and hospitals cracking in the seams. I mean, 5,000 beds for how many hospital? Every town has a hospital, larger town. So don't tell me they have only 2 beds there. The hospitals are the
Unless
biggest buildings in the county.
unless where do they get those numbers from? So if like yesterday there was 15,000 people infected, 16,000 people infected today, do those numbers, and they say 3,000 people are in hospitals, does those numbers get subtracted from that statistic, or is it, for example, more than that, and those people like 16,000 people infected that don't have to go to the hospital, and then there's a
Right.
number behind that have to go to the hospital? Or how does that, I don't know where they get those numbers from, how they figure that out.
Yeah, I don't think anybody knows. So,
Right? Because if you look at it, if there's 16,000 people and there's 5,000 people in a hospital, so from that 16,000, all of those 5,000 people went to the hospital, then I can understand that it can get overcrowded, because that's a lot, right? Because
right,
if 15,000 people were infected yesterday, for example, and 5,000 people had to go to the hospital, so that's
right,
10,000 people not in the hospital for that day.
right.
But if there's 16,000 people that were infected today and 5,000 people have to go to the hospital, then there's 10,000 people in the hospital. That's then I can understand why
Right.
there's not enough beds. That's a lot.
Right, but
That's
that's
a
not the
lot.
case. That's not how it works. That's not how they do it. I mean, they show 300 people in the hospital. So
Right.
uh, I I don't really. Just these computer models are for the birds. I mean, it doesn't tell us anything. They should just throw all that shit away. It's not gonna tell us anything.
Yeah, so
I
so if there
know they have to calculate it, and we are so sick of things. We have to count something. I get it, but Jesus.
sure. I don't know, man. I think it's pretty wild. I think that these numbers are just, they're not made up, but how they come up with these numbers to make it justifiable for all these strict restrictions between different counties, I I don't know
Right.
how they can, I don't know how they come up with that. I don't know how they can justify their
Yeah.
decisions.
I think they messed up even that NR number or whatever that other number, 1.1 or something, that how many people can infect it. I think they
Right.
messed that up too, because they're saying that the number of sick people increasing, like positive people was 2,000, now it's 4,000, now it's 15,000. And that yesterday you said the NR number went down
Yeah.
below one. How is that possible?
Right.
So how is that possible with more people getting sick? How can that number can go down? I mean, I don't get it. What's the connection between these two numbers? They're saying if the number comes down, infected people, of course every other number should go down, no?
At
But if
least by a
yeah,
little small percentage,
yeah,
something. I would.
exactly. If
Yeah.
something get going up, if water going up, so everything gets flooded here. Now people which weren't flooded and water goes up, gonna go more people get flooded. Doesn't that work that way? How can water rises up and less people get flooded? That's impossible. No, that's kind of stupid. They feeding us, and it just makes no sense.
Well, the NR number
Yeah,
is the number that if I was infected with COVID, those are the amount of people that I can spread the disease to, right?
right.
So it should be like, I don't know, for example, 1 to 2. That means that for myself, it's possible for me to infect 2 other people, right?
Right.
If I'm assuming correctly. So if that's doubled, right? So if it was 1-to-1, that means I infect the next person sitting next to me.
Right.
So, and how can it go below 1? I don't understand that number, below 1.
Yeah, exactly.
I-
That you
so
infect less than a person. Maybe you infect a dog.
I see. You affect a dog, right? Did you? Speaking of dogs, I just saw a video of. Did you know about this? When the Soviets sent that dog up into space,
Yeah, in 60s.
Laika,
Right.
Laika. Yeah,
Yeah.
have you ever heard of that?
Yes.
Do you know the story about it?
Well, kind of.
Dude, it was crazy. This video I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had more of them, but there's only one win. This was the winner. They shoot him up there.
Oh, he won big time because you should have seen the video, man. What they did was they put the Laika. Is it a girl or a boy dog? I don't want to misgender the dog. Let's look. Well, anyway, Laika. They strapped they put her in this capsule thing, like a
Yeah.
space suit,
Yeah.
and they put her on the rocket, and they sent her up into space.
Mhm.
And apparently, what happened was the rocket was like successful, but then there was like cautions and warnings, I guess, because they can monitor it from the ground.
Mhm.
So it got extremely hot. Well, because there was like a fire, I guess. So of course the dog can't go anywhere. And so of course Laika died. I mean, suffocated or burnt to death.
Right.
And then after that, like they said, like about 160 days after, the rocket actually fell back to Earth.
Mhm.
But because of the construction, it burned up in the atmosphere. And they couldn't find her.
Seems like
They
it got
couldn't.
a little bit out of control.
Yeah, it was out of control. I mean, there was no safety regulations or anything, I guess. So it was pretty wild. And the dog, and of course, the dog, they can't find the ashes or the bones or anything. I mean, the
Right.
dog completely disintegrated. But poor Laika,
Yeah, man.
dude.
You got it.
But they erected a statue for Laika, so I guess that's all right.
Nice.
Can you imagine?
No.
Dude,
Yeah,
I don't even want to know what they were testing or shooting up into space, man.
exactly. You know, if what name has it, they shoot it. And now they want us
Right.
to now they give us a vaccine. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I'll be the first to line up for that.
Do you know what the experiment was? What they were testing? What they wanted
On
to
Laika?
test? Yeah, on Laika.
Yeah.
They wanted to test how long a dog can survive in space.
Until it catch on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do that here. I can throw him in the fireplace.
I mean,
Press the
you
stopwatch.
you basically just threw the dog into an oven. What do you think was going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. He cooks quickly.
Oh my God. Dude. Well, let's just say, I mean, it lasted, it only lasted the launch, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude. Oh, I don't know what kind of testing they. Hey, it's the 50s and 60s, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Who else we can put up there? Let's put a donkey up there.
did they shoot a donkey up there?
Probably.
Probably. well, didn't they shoot Didn't they launch a gorilla up into space too?
I'm not
Didn't they?
sure.
Dude, those Soviets got up to some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like unrestricted.
Those are good days.
Well, you got approved really quickly, that experiment.
Yeah.
Very useful
You got around Razitko real quick.
yeah, for the advancement of science. And
Yeah, man.
dude, oh man, I can only imagine what was going through that dog's mind. I mean, can you imagine? You're a dog, right? And then like you get shoved in this glass box into a nitrogen bomb, and you're hauling ass up to space. You're like, what the fuck? I was just getting petted, and now where am I going?
I'm in the space yet? No? The holding ass 5G, my friend. They're prepared for a little jolt.
Yeah. Oh, he was prepared for sure.
Yeah. Poor dog.
Oh, poor dog, man. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, what are you gonna? I mean, that's what's. I think that's what the lockdown's gonna do to people. Is like think up these crazy experiments.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is gonna get a little bit wild and unrestricted pretty soon.
Yeah, more lockdown they do, then more. Yeah, and then what's happened? I mean, you think nothing's gonna happen on 21st? It's gonna just get prolonged again.
Right.
What they can do? I mean, the numbers don't gonna show us anything.
Right.
No?
It's not gonna show the like what's going on in
Yeah.
real life, basically.
Unless you turn on that stupid computer off and
Right.
lay off that little computer and let us go outside and have a beer, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, there's nothing gonna change. We're just gonna stuck in the house.
Yeah.
Let us go anywhere. I'm surprised they really went for this crackdown in the ocracies. And it's a real tough lockdown if you think of it.
It's
It's
really
ridiculous.
yeah.
No, they got us isolated like rats.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. You cannot do that to people.
and it's very scary because
Yeah,
when people are guarding and having they say random stops, but that doesn't matter. The point of it is that
Right.
they're out there. The police are out
Yeah,
there
exactly.
patrolling travel between different regions. I mean, you can't even go
Oh.
within the whole county.
I know.
You have to stay in.
Ocracy is very small.
It's a very small area,
Yeah.
right? And people are going to go crazy.
I can't believe it that they really vote for that. I mean, what happened that fucking 5 minutes on the end, they vote for it, and I don't even know what I don't know what happened. I mean, this guy's been talking against it, and then boom, lockdown.
And I can't believe that the police force are actually agreeing to something like this.
Yeah.
To actually, I mean, to restrict freedom of movement and give people fines
Yeah.
for traveling before in and out of different regions or different
Yeah.
counties. It's really, really scary.
Right.
It's really, really tough. I can't believe that people are I look at my feed, right? And I look at the feed and people are like, you should see the discussions about these things. They say
Right.
they're talking about what papers do I need? What office can I go to? How can I travel
know.
out of this place? Where is it possible to get this kind of does this paper work? Does that paper work? You know,
Right, exactly.
so there you go. So now we're fighting. What we're fighting for is how we can go and travel somewhere. We're not even
Right.
fighting. We're not even fighting the disease anymore.
No.
The disease is secondary for everybody now.
We're just fighting about ourselves now, you know.
Yes.
What do I need and why do I follow this? You know?
Right.
So
Exactly.
they make it really clear. I mean, on that thing says traveling to see somebody in difficulties to help them out. So that's what I'm gonna cross, and I'm gonna give it to them. I don't gonna say a word.
Don't say
That's
anything.
That's where I'm going, you know.
Yeah.
And they want me to, yeah. Tell me otherwise or something. Why I cannot go there? It says right here. It's legal.
Yeah, I would just show the paperwork at the crossing if you
Yeah.
get stopped somewhere, and
Right.
and don't say anything. Just let them
Right.
figure it out.
Right.
Right? They can call
Exactly.
any office, whatever. That's their problem, not
I
mine.
know. I know.
Yeah.
But they say you
No.
have to explain, you have to show them where you're going and why. Well, I have the paperwork that I choose to live 30 days here and I'm traveling over there, and it says in like that box. I don't have it here, but I have it. And it
Yeah,
says to help people.
yeah, I have the
No.
form too. There's different options you can click check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in this
So
situation, I mean,
if it's for the work, if it's for the workers, that's okay. You get a stamp at the factory. But if you don't have anything
sure.
like that, then I'm just going over there. You know.
Yeah. You don't have to say anything, that's
Exactly.
their thing that they have
I
to
just
figure it
choose
out.
this, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I don't understand about any of
But the
this.
problem is that they have the power. They can tell you if they don't like it, then they give you the fine. I mean because the rule is so vague, so they leave it on the police officers, which is bad. So if you find some
That's bad.
asshole who don't want to let you go through, then he won't let you through.
Then you can just say, "Hey, look, I'm just going to turn around then and go back."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
And then they can watch you turn around and go back. It didn't
Yeah.
work. So
Wait
I
a
come
couple
back.
hours until they change this caps, and I'll go back again.
Right,
Or find
exactly.
another road. It's just
or another road, or bring back another paper, or
exactly.
just bring what they like until
Right.
But you see what I'm saying? I mean, this conversation that we're having is already away from the main issue that we're trying to solve.
Absolutely.
Right? What we're fighting for now, what we're talking about, the conversation has changed to how we can travel.
It doesn't require you to have a test. I don't need to have a test. I don't need to have a PCR test. I just need to cross the box. Then I'm going over there. So that's what I'm gonna give them.
Yes, exactly.
So
I mean,
see what they have to say.
Right, and just see what they say, and but I can't believe that the guy made a statement that the police are fully on board to help police and randomly check people coming in and out of different regions. I can't believe that. That's so dangerous. Who are these people?
Yeah.
It's going to get to a point where people are going to start spying on one another again, telling on other people who has and who doesn't have different face masks, different paperwork, no paperwork. I mean, it's going to get pretty wild pretty soon with all these restrictions, and it's going to take a toll on everybody, physically, mentally. It's not good. And those people in the government, up in the parliament, those people are fully 100% responsible for this mess that they created.
That's absolutely right.
They created this mess, not the people.
No, not the people.
Frustrated about everything that's going on, and they have the gall to put a new state of emergency for us. That's ridiculous.
I know, that's bad.
That's bad.
So they have to get them out of there. There have to be a new election. If they can vote like this, whatever they want, I mean, I don't get it. So, and they playing this scarcity plan. I mean, this country's ass. I mean, we cannot sustain this. Well, and they're already saying there's gonna be a higher taxes. Of course, there will be higher taxes. How you think they're gonna get the money back?
Of course.
Well, that's shit. It's gonna be real bad. So this needs to end quick as possible. This cannot go any longer. This needs to end now.
It needs to go
any longer. Yeah, it needs to stop.
It needs
Because
to
longer it
stop.
goes, the more in trouble everybody gets.
Yes.
It's just
And it gets in trouble with things that are unrelated to any diseases.
right.
That's the point. I mean, people who are entrepreneurs or have businesses that
Exactly.
are not factory
Everybody
jobs
say,
or self-employed, you know,
right.
you need to get that all
Yeah.
like sorted out. I mean, like for example, how are you gonna nobody's gonna pay any taxes who are people who are self-employed. They haven't had any work. You know,
Right.
so so you can raise the taxes, but they're not gonna pay anything because one, they haven't contributed to anything. They haven't made any money, self-employees,
Right.
especially like, they've been out of work, for example. Uh, it's going to be bad, and it's going to be
Oh
bad
yeah.
for things like tourism, hotels, restaurants, stores,
Oh yeah.
manufacturers. Uh, those
Right.
companies are almost dying because nobody's been in these restaurants. I,
Yeah.
and if these business, I'm really surprised what's going to happen if it opens up. How well maintained these places are, because you know how it goes. You close a restaurant for 6 months. What kind of insects are in there?
Yeah.
What
Exactly.
How dirty that is? Because when it's functioning, you're always cleaning it, right? Oh, that's going to be gross. The health inspectors will have a real problem coming back into when they go and inspect these pubs and restaurants. Oh, oh, they're gonna be. It's gonna be crazy. I wonder if they're gonna have that. If there's gonna be any riots pretty soon or demonstrations. Yeah, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen. In the next couple of weeks, um, how this is gonna play out. Right now, we're in a big mess, and I don't know where the shining light at the end of the tunnel is going to be. It's getting darker and darker every passing day with the lockdown restrictions, especially when people are not able to freely move as they like. Uh, it's gonna get pretty wild, with people not being able to freely move. Um, and I think the government needs to stop this. I mean, it really needs to stop. Um, we're gonna be
Right.
in we're
I
gonna
think
be
so.
in big we're gonna be in big trouble. Um, the path is just getting darker.
Yeah.
Uh,
Exactly.
the lockdowns are not helping anything. They're not helping morale of the people. They're just getting people pissed off. Um, I, I can't believe that 3 weeks ago people were so pissed off with this, and now we're back in this darkness again.
I know it's bad. It's bad situation all around.
Yes, everywhere.
So. Mhm. So.
I I don't under I don't I wouldn't be surprised if there will be riots pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, I think we have to get out there because it is unsustainable. They cannot just juicing everything down and get it people locked down like that. But people are now, they're very bendable here. Now they bend them and they bend them more and they scare them more and they go, okay, we'll put 6 roshkas on and wrap my head in the other coverets around my head, and long as they let us go get the food. And oh, no, food's gonna be rationing. Oh, at least they give me macaroni. I still have a potatoes, and they fuck that. You
I
know?
think I think that's gonna happen, or people are gonna do that in the beginning. But I think that the cracks, there's always cracks to everything. It's even the strongest of these lockdowns, there's cracks in it. People are going to find a way to
Yeah,
either,
of course.
it can't it's impossible, these lockdowns to sustain for a long period of time. It could be a long time, but it'll eventually break down.
Right.
People are going to realize that this is just a bubble. We're living in a bubble,
Right.
and the
But let's
bubble
hope
has
it's
to
not some
pop.
kind of new start of something which gonna shit on us for next 30 years. You
Well,
know,
that's
you're saying it's gonna stay a little bit, a little bit. That's how it started in the beginning, a little bit, and boom, 30 years later, we find out that it was really fucked up regime.
sure.
So we need to poke it in the butt right away and say,
Yes.
no, this is not what we want. This is not how we're gonna go. We need to dismantle this government and get the new people in it who are able to vote differently. I mean, if this, so what? Fuck with them. Get them out of there. They're unable to do anything, and
Yeah,
they
I
need
mean,
to
if
be
you're if you're
replaced.
only ar- if you're only arguing to make us have lockdowns or anything like that, and that's what you're arguing for, then you're incompetent. All of those people are
Right?
incompetent in the government.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think that,
They,
you
they
know
need to go.
they need to go, because it's not about a trust thing to that appealing to authority. The problem is that I don't trust the government for anything,
Right? You
but
can't. They're
unfortunately,
not to
those are
be
the people.
trusted. They to be guided.
Right. Well, have
That's
you seen the definition of a politician? Have you seen the definition of it?
no,
Do you
I
know
don't know.
a politician is?
Yeah.
You want to hear the here's the US uh, definition of a
Mhm.
politician. Okay, it's just a quick Google search. A Google
Right.
search. Here's what it says as for the definition. Okay, so first it's a noun. Okay, so a person who is professionally involved in politics, especially as
Mhm.
a holder or an elected or elected into office. Okay.
Right.
The second definition: a person who acts in a manipulative and devious way, typically to gain advancement within an organization.
Exactly.
So how can you trust somebody like that if they're going to use any tactics to manipulate you
Right.
in any way to get you to believe them, so that they
Mhm.
become more powerful,
Right.
or they become uh, advanced, like for example a different position within the government. How can you trust anybody in that
Right.
profession?
Right. So for me, if they shorten it out, he's an MF would be much better because then I know what I'm dealing with.
Sure.
You know?
That's why you're dealing with snakes in the government,
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
you don't know who is good, who is not good. So what I do is, maybe it's intellectually lazy, but I just lump them all into a category that I don't trust them all,
Right.
right? Because there's so much shit. They've told so many lies that if they tell the truth, it doesn't convince me enough. They haven't the government has never convinced me enough
Right.
that I should trust the government.
Exactly.
It's always the
And
opposite.
and they cannot do that. They that's not what they're working on. They don't working on convincing you. They're working on manipulate you to do it what they want you to do.
Right.
See, they don't convince you that there's something's right. They convince you something that what the fuck they doing that you need to agree on that.
Right, exactly.
That's the pure manipulation.
Yes,
So
of
they
course.
master of
Yeah.
it.
And
Obama is the master of it.
speaking of Obama, I read something about him that it was in that book that Losing America, or
Yeah,
America.
Ganesh. Yeah,
Imagine, yeah, Dinesh.
right.
Yeah, he was a who he learned from.
Yeah, the Alinsky.
Well, yeah, he learned from Alinsky and like four other guys that were all
Sure.
like,
Yeah.
I forgot their names, but yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah,
Alinsky,
exactly.
that Saul Alinsky. I mean, he was a organizer,
Right.
or
Exactly.
so to get. I guess
And so
he,
Obama was
yeah, he did that in Chicago. Both of them. Yeah, and he basically what they were doing was rallying people in the community to get together to like join a coalition. I guess that's what an organizer does. And he wrote two books. Saul Alinsky. Saul Alinsky wrote two books. I think one was the one that we all know, Rules for Radicals. He wrote that book, and I think he wrote one more book as well. Um, Saul Alinsky. Let's look it up. I think he let's look at his books. Mm, or did he only just write the rules for? He only wrote one book. Rules for Radicals. He wrote. Yeah, and that book was a big influence on Barack Obama. And yeah, so that was a real interesting book to read. It was talking about different things about how different sections of American society are getting chipped away at little by little, piece by piece, before everything breaks down in society, and how you it just gives you a different perspective of how what the US's role is in the world, and what would happen if the US wasn't involved in that world anymore. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting book. Uh, yeah, I like to read. I like to read books for like historical value, just to see the other person's side of things, because it's important to formulate your ideas, and to be more articulate in your speech. Is to look at these books, make an informed decision about the books, and then uh, then you can have a discussion about it, and you can formulate your ideas about all these different books that you have read, or that you read. So it was very interesting reading about how uh, these books, or these characters that are mentioned in the book, um, that had big influences on the president, President Barack Obama. And there was like a school teacher, I think a pastor, like a Brazilian, like, statesman, I want to say. And so when you read these books, when you read the books, I don't know I don't know, I can't verify how accurate the book is, but uh, if what is in the book were actual events, it shouldn't be a surprise how that presidency turned out. Um, it's hard to see those ideas, or for some people, it's hard to see what's going on uh, while it's happening. But when you look at it in hindsight, when you look at it, back, and you read the books, and then you see that it had to happen that way. Uh, it was a it was a thing that has to happen. So so I got a message that Jorge's having technical difficulties. Never mind. I want to make a big announcement. Big announcement, or an announcement, is I think uh, this will be exciting news. This will be the last podcast on this channel. I'm creating a new channel, a new podcast, and I can't release any of the details yet because it's still in the developing stages. But it's going to be rebranded. We're going to rebrand the podcast. We're going to have a new logo, a brand new podcast, uh, bringing to you more content, uh, more exciting content, bigger content. And so what we're going to do is we're going to release a podcast on the new channel. I want to say either Friday or Saturday. And we're going to have great discussions. We're going to market it better. We're going to get out on social media a little bit better and spread the word. And we're going to, and it's going to be really, really exciting. So now I don't know if we're going to go back to this podcast. I think that will be the second. This will be the secondary podcast, and that will be the main podcast. But have a look, check us out on the new podcast, either Friday or Saturday. So it's been a blast on this channel. It's been an absolute pleasure making episodes. This will be uploaded onto the channel live. It's live right now, but it will be uploaded tomorrow on YouTube automatically. And tomorrow, Friday, we're coming up with new content. And yeah, so it's been a bumpy ride. We are trying to do something big. We're trying to stay creative. We're gonna keep trying to have discussions and survive this difficult period of time for the history of the world. To really strange, awkward, weird time for everybody. I hope that everybody stays safe, stay healthy, be smart, and we'll catch you on the next podcast. Thank you for listening. Peace.